All right, here we go. Welcome to the stream of. You know what? I already bombed the fucking introduction. So, I'm your wonderfully bespeckled host, the Atlantean, and tonight, actually, I don't know what the fuck's going on tonight. It's a wild card stream. Let's call it that. We don't know what the topics are going to be. We're just going to make shit up as we go along tonight, and we have a good panel tonight. First among us, a good friend of mine. One of the many good friends I seem to have, Culture Casino. How's it going, man?
Hey, bud. How's it going? It's going good. I'm happy to be here. Did I just blow your ear holes off?
No, you didn't. Yeah. I kind of screwed up my own introduction. So
no, it was fine. I thought it was fine. Just one of those things about YouTube. You just keep plowing through it. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I've got a couple 3 shows tonight, I think. So this is going to be a party. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So it's nice to actually have you here again. This is the third time now.
Yeah.
All right.
We never know where we're going, but we stumble around until we get there.
Pretty much. All right, and then next up, probably my best friend from real life. I don't know what he's using tonight for his name. Twigget, apparently. You've seen him on my Saturday streams from Atlantean and Tweed. Tristan, Twigget.
Hey, I'm just here with my boobies.
Yes,
you got a nice pair.
Yeah.
It's the booby show. Okay. There's Twicked. Yeah, I don't know why he's Twicked today. Actually, you know what? Let's change that up just a little bit. So how's the day going?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Work was good today, man. Like busy all day. I wasn't bored at all. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
day.
Today was
good day.
Work day was kind of screwed up for me, but I'm not going to get into it. And then finally, well, not finally, but the last one to introduce on the panel, Stephen Walton.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, just peachy. Stephen Walton here is what is this? Your second time on the stream. Second time in 2 weeks, actually.
I know.
Which is actually really awesome. It's like, I like that.
He's got boobies in the background, too.
Yes, I do. Right above my head.
Okay. We don't have anybody in the chat right now, unfortunately.
Well, then we'll just have to start talking about something.
We'll have to talk about something. I'm not sure.
How about the one that's pissed me off the most recently? So they're coming out with Final Fantasy VII DLC, but you can only play it if you have a PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah.
So they're coming out with remake DLC where you can play as Yuffie, but you have to have a PlayStation 5 to play it. So it's basically like, you can't play this, fucker. Have a nice day.
Yeah, because who could fucking get a hold of a PS5 right now?
Yeah. I might walk out to get a PS5 to sort of play that. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not available, so I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, it's like, hey, the choice isn't yours to make. They don't have any to sell.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, did you ever see that viral video about some guy going out dropping, like $500-$600 on a PS5 and then destroying it?
I mean, people have done that for a long time, actually. I remember the original one was Smash My Xbox 360. The guys go into Best Buy, during the launch, and they're like, yeah, we got an Xbox 360, and he's holding it up. Everybody's, then he just takes it and, wow, throws it on the ground, and he stomps it. And everybody's just looking on,
oh, yeah.
I mean, this is, it had to be 2005. It was all over the internet for a while. And then, so they kept on doing it. They smash my Wii, smash my PS3.
Jeez.
So it's a tradition now. Somebody ultimately takes money, goes to buy the console, holds it up in front of a crowd, and smashes it.
Why the fuck would they do that? That's a rhetorical question. It's for views, for the lulz, because people are dickbags. And I'm not gonna pull any punches. If you have the cash to go out, especially on launch day, spend all this time in line, buy a console, and then destroy it on camera for views and likes, you're a dickbag. You're a dickbag that ought to be sodomized with a cactus.
Well, they crowdfunded it, basically. They asked for donations. It wasn't even their money. They're just like, hey, donate the money so we can buy this and smash it in front of people. I mean, you think about it, only 400 people need to donate $1, right, to get a Wii and some controllers and shit. It's like
that's $1 you could use for a can of soda at the Dollar General, okay?
Yeah. I mean, especially
I say technically, wouldn't it technically be like $1.15 with tax and deposit, depending on where you are?
Yeah, I mean that was a funny internet trend for a while, and then you had the other side of that. You had the fanboy videos that they make songs about how bad the other console is. Like they had one about how bad the Xbox was that was like to the tune of 99 red balloons, and I think the only line I remember is "Suck my dick, we're getting God of War 3."
If you could ever find that, you need to share that with me. We're not going to show it on stream because we'll fucking get tagged. But
yeah, last I knew, it disappeared from the internet, but like it was on there for quite a while.
All good things disappear from the internet.
Yeah.
Like
there was one to the tune of "Hi, my name is" about the Wii.
Oh Jesus Christ.
It was like the one line I can remember from that was, "Have you ever heard of a good game on Wii that didn't star an Italian plumber?" But,
nah, kind of low hanging fruit.
Yeah, no. But,
there was a sports game for the Wii Fit that I really enjoyed quite a lot, like an Olympics game.
Yep,
that was pretty good.
Was it the Mario and Sonics at the Olympics, or was it like
no? It was like people like you doing stuff. Okay. Like, and I really enjoyed playing tennis on Wii.
Yeah. I mean, I bought a Wii kind of sort of sometime after it launched. I worked at Walmart, so like I did opportunistically buy one, but after a while I bought Metroid Prime 3 and No More Heroes, and those games are awesome, but after that I kind of like stopped playing it.
If we say on Wii enough, people will think we're French.
On Wii.
On Wii.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't know. The Wii had interesting launch titles when they were trying to figure out what the thing could play. And, Metroid Prime 3, I actually really liked that one, but it's like, I don't know. Have you played it? Anybody?
I used to have it.
I had it at one point in time. I don't think I do anymore. I think that went off to the nephew's gaming library. But I think I may still have my Mario Kart from Wii, which I enjoyed.
Yep.
I liked Wii Golf. Wii Golf was good.
Honk.
Honk Wii. Wii.
I was like, y'all are talking about French people, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to lean into it.
Honk Wii.
I think I've told Lane this before, but I made the discovery that I actually have French heritage. My dad was adopted, and he found his original family, and or they found him, and it turns out I'm French. I'm a Frenchie.
Wow. There's only a couple of good things about French.
I mean, it validates my feelings about baguettes and croissant.
Hey, baguettes. You guys
croissant.
Hey, did you guys ever hear about the French battle tank that's coming out?
What's that?
It has 14 different gears. 13 go in reverse at different speeds, and one goes forward in case the enemy attacks from behind.
Wow.
I'm not sorry for that joke. That is a fucking great joke.
It's a good joke.
What was
God?
France had the biggest tank ever built, but it was like built in World War I, and they tried to parade them out for World War II, but then, they ended up just getting captured by the Nazis or destroyed by the French, so they didn't get captured by the Nazis.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was called the Chaman. Like, it was built for World War I, so like it wasn't going to do shit in World War II.
The Germans built a monstrous tank at one point in time, or several of them. Yeah, those things were just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
The Char 2C.
Yep.
Yeah, known as the FCM 2C.
Yeah.
It was obsolete by the time they finished the tank. It was built for World War I, so like,
oops.
Like if it went into battle, maybe they would have gotten lucky and killed something, but
it's a big pile of metal.
Yeah.
So, man.
Sven's gonna pillage our channel and mate with our women.
That's Sven. Steven. Steven's been
Don't take
quiet.
all my chicks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering, are you writing another book?
No, I'm dealing with house stuff. Yes.
Okay. Well, then I won't call you out. So
Well, how about this? You know, I haven't heard a lot about it recently, but where we think Star Wars is going to go from here after all this shit heading down the river?
We really have to talk about this.
I don't know. The Fandom Menace historians here. Maybe he wants to talk about it.
No, I don't see it going anywhere good. I think it's all going downhill at this point.
Yeah. You think Favreau's going to be able to keep his job?
I have no idea at this point. I don't trust anything coming out of Disney, Lucasfilm. Yeah. I don't think they have any control over what's going on there. Disney does. I don't know. Seems like utter chaos. Seems like self-destruction. So,
especially after all this Gina Carano bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, look. Yeah, go ahead, Steven. I'm sorry.
No, with all the I mean, who knows what the rumors mean? Who knows what anything means at this point? I don't see any information that points to anything good, really, at this point. I think it's all about self-destruction. You know, you create some kind of good feeling with the fans, the traditional fans, and then you blow it out of the water. Just, you know, like I said, I don't have a good outlook on it at this time. Nothing positive, anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, Culture. Go ahead, buddy.
No, look, you were on a roll. I wasn't going to argue with you, and I'm not going to argue with you now. I think that there's very little to get excited about when it comes to Star Wars. I think the future is going to super suck, and I think that probably the wisest statement I heard today was the only thing they could do is retool Rangers to try to, you know, put maybe Bill Burr in that job. But then again, I mean, he obviously considers Gina a friend. So wouldn't that feel like a super dick move to take over, you know, what would have been her position in that show? Not only that, do you think that show is even going to progress forward? I haven't heard anything from anybody I know about anything. And I think some of it is, you know, right now, I think that everybody realizes that talking right now about anything is going to get them in trouble. You know,
my biggest question that I wish somebody would answer me, and maybe it's probably there's so many variables we can't really know for sure, but what the hell is Kathleen Kennedy's goal, right? Ruin Star Wars. Okay. She doesn't intend to ruin Star Wars. She tends to change it. But what's her plan beyond getting, you know, the Mandalorian shot to hell and anything Favreau tries to do? What's the goal in just ruining the other part?
Well, because she only wants to make her trash. She's going to trash anything that the fans like, that feed into the old fan base, because she doesn't like the old fan base.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it was weird listening to Midnight's Edge today, because Andy Signor said exactly the same thing I've heard from other people that are close to the situation, saying that she was only interested in Rey in the entire Star Wars trilogy. That's the only character she gave two craps about, you know. And again, I'd heard that before from elsewhere, and then to hear it again out of his mouth, I was like, well, that pretty much seals that one up for me. So it's just, you know, but her goal is to she's trying to remake it. This is what's happening everywhere. This whole town is living in a projection bubble in a way that I can't even describe. I mean, Gary Nerdrock's 100% right. Hollywood just projects all their old shit onto their new project, the new projects they're doing. You know, and you have some true believers in the ideas behind this, the socialist Marxist bullshit that's just been funneling downhill into Hollywood from, higher education. So it's just, you know, you have a weird thing. The ultimate goal in Star Wars for Kathleen Kennedy is just to, you know, try to remake it, try to remake the audience, try to remake the way that, you know, business is done in that particular entity. Now, consider this. I mean, Lucasfilm is its own company. It is owned by Disney, but it's its own entity. And, you know, they existed prior to being purchased under George. George's biggest mistake at this point isn't selling to Disney. His biggest mistake was putting Kathleen Kennedy in charge, who lied to him, saying that she was going to preserve his vision.
Legacy.
Yeah, because she shat all over it the first moment she could.
Yeah, just mutually assured destruction at this point, I think.
It seems like,
yeah. I mean, it just seems like she's getting real petty. Like it's starting to make less sense as time goes on to me, right? It's like, okay, so Star Wars: The Last Jedi didn't work, right? Okay, Kennedy, you failed. Step aside. Let somebody else do it, but she literally won't. Despite evidence proving that yes, other people are more successful than you are. Have fun.
Well, Last Jedi was shit. Solo was shit. I still have I was seriously underwhelmed with Rogue One. I can't believe so many people give that such high praise. And the freaking Rise of Palpatine was a freaking trash fire, floating down the river. It wasn't good, and in any way, it was every single attempt to recapture an audience that you had essentially shat all over in the previous film. And, that consider this, her leadership is so poor. She has chased out as many directors as she's hired.
Wow. That's a lot. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I, for one, am looking forward to seeing Ram Jamaram be the best character. Clearly a Jedi who's large and in charge is the future.
He needs
misogynist trash.
Yeah, he needs vanilla bean jelly like on the corner of his mouth, like stuck there, like encrusted or something.
Wait, I thought Ram Jamaram was a woman. Is that a dude?
I don't know. Dude, their art, that Cal Arts bullshit, art style is garbage. I like when Gary calls it out, but to me, it's just like this entity does not resemble. It's like an exaggerated anthropomorphization of what a human might possibly could look like. It's just terrible.
Using your Jedi powers to support your body because you're overweight.
I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, they're trying to couch the Jedi as something they aren't. It's almost like they're trying to make the Stormtroopers the good guys.
Yeah.
And that's. That speaks a lot to their mindset, I think, considering who the Stormtroopers were originally based on.
Yeah,
there you are.
Hail! Speaking of the Jedi not being like the best people, I kind of got the image I got from the prequel trilogy was that the Jedi were so stuck in their ways that they couldn't change to a new threat, and they got obliterated because of it.
That was actually, I think that was one of the underlying.
But obliterated at the same time.
Yeah.
Again, that sounds very World War I-y, right? But obliterated is not quite accurate, and decimated is probably not even the right term because that would be down to every 10th man. There were still plenty of Jedi in the Star Wars universe at the time. They were just few and far between, but there were still ample. Ben was, obviously Ben Kenobi was one, and he just did Tatooine.
But as an organization, the Jedi ceased to exist, right? Because there's no organization left. It's not like Ben Kenobi was the general of anything after he went to Tatooine.
Well, you still had temples. You still had.
I haven't read the EU, so
yeah. I mean, there was still a presence. Obviously, you had what happened on Dagobah with Luke and Yoda in a few films, and then the and then the aftermath of that, there was again, Luke's goal was to rebuild the Jedi Order, and to bring in those that were lost to the wind and to train new Jedi. So it's just but to answer your question, Twicket, like I said, her goal is to remake it in what she thinks is a very intersectional way. And again, these people think that when they talk to each other, this is the kind of crap that everybody wants. And, the audience isn't there for it. They're not going to support it any more than they're going to support a poorly written, in-your-face BLM message Superman.
Yeah.
So it's just, and this is the problem with the Equalizer show. It's one of three. Problem one, he is not believable as the character.
Yep.
You know, despite all of her many talents, and believe me, Dana Owens, awesome, great, talented in many ways, makes great things. This is not her role. Okay. Number two, it completely dissects the character that used to be there and doesn't represent the character in any way. And number three, it is agenda before storytelling. So, because at the end of each episode, or near the end of each episode, it is a message of BLM and crap. And I feel like you are ham-fisted assholes writing it this way. And like I said, I give the show 3 episodes. If you suck for 3 episodes, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that I would be done after the first 15 minutes of the first episode. So I guess it is what it is. But I always give things a fair shake, and I have to, because it's it's how you keep some intellectual honesty.
You got to give something a chance to impress you.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Happy Dinosaur?
What's up,
Happy Dinosaur.
Yeah. No, it's you have to give something a chance, and I did that with what do you call it? Breaking Bad, right? Yep. Breaking Bad wasn't my kettle of fish right away. By the time I got to the 3rd episode, I was like, fudge, this is awesome, right? And then the season ended because it was short seasons, right? Because it's an AMC show. And I was like, son of a, where's the rest of the show? And wait another season. Yeah, but it was, I mean, talk about a way to, get on board with a show. Now, for a lot of my friends that are in recovery, that's probably not the best show in the world to get into. Right? But at the same time, it tells a very realistic story of how someone would move into that life. You have a skill set, it feeds into this need, when you're about to exit the planet anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing I'd like to touch on now, you brought up Breaking Bad.
Bacon.
And the whole episode structure. I think that's another problem with American pop culture right now, is that they'll take something that gets popular and drag it out far too damn long.
Well, they didn't do it with that show.
No, they didn't. They're like 5 seasons, whole story. Mm-hmm. Great. Yep. And then they're like Better Call Saul. It's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one too. But like Supernatural's a show. I point as like part of the problem.
Fuck that show.
I watched Supernatural seasons 1 through 4, and then I watched 5. I was less impressed. But then you go and look, it's like there's 12 friggin' seasons.
Yes.
Well, how do they move that plot from?
Yeah. Did you not just hear the fuck that show?
Yeah.
No. So look, it's again, you jump the shark, but also CW. So,
Fuck CW.
I actually watched the Flash show, and I enjoyed it. But then season 4 started showing a little bit of. Oh, go ahead.
One season. It had one season, and after the 4th episode of the 2nd season, I'm like, no, thank you.
Really? I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the first 2 or 3 seasons.
A lot of people did.
A lot of people did, and I like it. But here's the thing, Twicket.
Yeah.
Eventually, they jumped the intersexual horse, or and everybody has, and everything. I mean, it's predictable. A Berlanti joint is an intersexual fart sniffing contest, and they do it across every single one of their shows, and that's why it's such a big surprise that Superman and Lois did not super suck balls right out the gate.
Yep.
Right. So but that's what you expect from Berlanti. He leans into that part. It's I guess his defining characteristic as far as he's concerned is the gay, know? And so he's going to, unfortunately, lean into anything that is remotely near that, which okay. I mean, we have equality for everyone. Right. I don't care if you identify as a grasshopper. It doesn't matter. You have the equal rights as a human. I guess technically, if you identify as a grasshopper, are you still human? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Technically, you still have the same rights as everybody else. You have the same right to and access to everything else. Right. Yeah. You don't have more. And that's what this is all about. These tiny little fractions of humanity want more than everybody else. That's unreasonable.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's people that are trying to use use these positions to virtue signal and create division. I think it's a very small minority of people, really.
And that's the point. It's like 0.03. It's like 0.033% of the population that is actually on board with these activist ideas.
Mm.
And you have, and Stephen, you did a great video about it today. See, because I watch my friends' videos, even though they don't watch mine. Anyway, my point being is you hit on it today. You can have a conversation with somebody that's in one of these communities that they're supposedly having these advocates and activists for, right? And they're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't believe in that stuff.
That was the majority of the conversation that we had.
And it's like, I just want my day. I mean, at the end of the day, all we are fighting for is for everybody to get access to the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're not going to have you're never going to have equality of outcome, which is the goal of these people. You can't. That's the only way that works is under a utopian socialist Marxist structure. And in the course of human history, all of those have collapsed into rubble because it doesn't work. Right. Because people will always reach down into their lowest common denominator once they have achieved power. So, like and share too.
I just want to interject where we were talking about TV shows. I don't have cable, but I sat down at my dad's house one day. I turned through the channels. I think I was watching FX or something, and they aired an ad for basically a cop drama, but it's shtick. Unlike, Law and Order, SVU, or any of the other Law and Orders, the shtick was it focused on crimes happening to the LGBTQ community. I don't know what the name of the show was or how it ended up doing. I think I caught my stepmother watching an episode at one point, but like it just seemed a bit odd to me. It's like, well, that's kind of random. Like, I mean, I haven't heard anything about it since, but neither have I watched FX at all since. So, I mean, that was just an interesting story, but. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like, okay, well, if it makes money, then go ahead and do it.
It doesn't always make money.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Is as you can see from the ratings. I mean, the CW right now, they are not batting well on their batting average when it comes to like viewership, right? They're batting 100. And when I say that, it means that they're getting 0.1 share, 0.1 rating. That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay. And not only that, but Batwoman slipped under 500,000 viewers. Right?
Batwoman.
And here's the weird thing. Do you know what else? The other things that went incredibly the wrong direction in the last year was sports, right? Yeah. The NBA on a nationally broadcast game. On a broadcast network, an NBA game, mind you, the game of the week, 513,000 viewers.
Jeez.
Wow.
Damn.
That's what happens. People are just sick of hearing about identity politics. People are just
They don't like BLM. Nobody does. And here's the thing. I mean, the narrative around BLM is a lie. Everybody knows it. BLM does $2 billion worth of property damage, and everything else, right? And those people are more virtuous than the 100 or so useful humans.
I don't think you should use the same blanket for all of BLM because
really,
I mean, I know the chapter in Bangor, Maine is very peaceful, and they do a lot of peaceful demonstrations. As a matter of fact, a childhood friend of mine is the leader of that community in Bangor. And I've talked to him many times, and he doesn't agree with violence. And the Bangor riots, of course, never reached any violent point. They're peacefully protesting.
Riot and protest are two mutually exclusive terms.
Well, I wouldn't even call it protesting; I'd call it just demonstrating, right? Like,
okay, did they damage anything?
No, they just stayed in the park and
did what?
They really don't even get much of a crowd when it comes to that sort of thing. So they don't even have the sheer numbers to create anything as
the reason that I have a question is, and then also, what is their makeup? I mean, because I'm curious, because you live in
Bangor doesn't have a very large black population.
That's what I was going to say. You live in one of the most lily white places in the universe, so I can't imagine.
But I think this has been my opinion, is that there are places where BLM is being co-opted by Antifa to drive the Antifa thing, and that's where the violence comes from.
They use exactly the same playbook. They follow the same Marxist doctrine that the organization was, led into. So I like you said, I mean, your stated goals and objectives are exactly the same.
I just object to blanket terms to some groups. I mean, like,
no,
yes,
I don't like blankets either. But I have yet to experience anything that has been remotely peaceful when it comes to those folks.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, again, perspective and personal experiences often taint your worldview.
Yep.
That's to be sure. I agree with you there. Well, let's say it this way: $2 billion worth of property damage from BLM.
Yeah.
And some broken windows and some minor inconvenience for people in Congress.
I mean, my opinion on recent events, and this is coming from a small town guy. I'm from Maine. There's the biggest town in Maine's Portland, and I'm from nowhere near it. Bangor, Maine has a population of 33,000 people, and it's the biggest town around us. Lane and I, we grew up. We'd go to Bangor to do our shopping. We'd go home to our smaller towns to live. One of the things that's really different is that these big cities, New York, Minneapolis, San Francisco, LA, they're getting so big. They're insular. They have their own opinions. The crime is big, right? People like to mention, well, black crime statistics are bad, but it's like, I haven't seen the statistic that says this is the statistic when you remove the city numbers. My thought is that the city numbers are what's causing everybody to be negative. There's a high populations in black populations in cities. Yeah. Right. But I would assume also white people are just as criminal in the cities as well. Like, I don't think it's about race. It's got to be about the environment. In the shitty Portland. Yeah, I'm glad to.
Well,
but
how about this?
A lot of these things, like, and these big protests happen in big cities like Seattle. Where Seattle got the biggest brunt of the damage from BLM. They even took over part of the city, right? And so we're talking the difference between rural America and big city America. Big city America is causing a lot of trouble. It's getting to the point where, I don't know, did you hear about the one where parts of Oregon want to leave and go to Idaho?
Yeah,
join
they
Idaho.
They want to form Greater Idaho.
Yeah.
And you also have Northern California that wants to have their own separate state called Jefferson.
Yeah. And the reason why they want to is because, they're the rural populations.
They're no longer represented. They're not represented by the government en masse. And that's the whole reason. This is a difficult explanation when you're trying to explain a representative republic, which is what we have in this country, because they don't understand that you didn't want 7 states controlling the other 43. And that's the situation that we end up with, and that's where we are now. And they don't care. Right. Those 7 states give no shits about the circumstances and situations of the rural populations. So in communities like where you live, where you have wild animals that can F you up, we don't
have wild animals that can screw you up. That's a lie we use to scare tourists.
We have turkeys. We have grizzly
don't
bears.
get in a fight with a turkey. You might lose.
No.
On
a completely different note, up here in New England, turkeys are some of the most arrogant motherfucking animals you will ever meet. They're just turkeys in New England. It's worse than the deer out in the because in this local area, Tristan, you know this. In this local area, I don't want to say it's a wildlife reserve, but there's a no hunting ordinance around the university, and the deer populations out there. Yeah, there's deer everywhere, and they're give no fucks. Turkeys are 7 times worse than that.
Oh yeah,
because turkeys give no fucks, and they give no fucks in large numbers.
But turkeys are the ones that would cause you the most damage because they are cocky, and they might actually, if you cross their path, they know they have numbers, and they know that even though they don't outsize you, there's more of them. The birds aren't dumb. Birds are not dumb. I
don't mean to derail from the politics. I mean, I do a little bit, but
I'm just trying to say, Maine doesn't really have a lot of dangers. Actually, the only conspiracy theory I believe in is that the state of Maine covers up the existence of mountain lions, even though they're basically a non-threat, even if they're here. When people anyway, sorry,
I'm sorry,
we got off on a tangent.
Tangents are good.
Okay, I live in an area where there are wild animals that could hurt or maim or injure you, possibly kill you. So, having a firearm, especially up north at my cabin, makes an awful lot of sense. So, because if I end up confronting a bear or a mountain lion or something similar, I elect to have the option of defending myself. So, to that end, I live in a different circumstance than people do in cities. And yet, somebody wanting to restrict my access to a firearm to protect myself seems pretty ridiculous. So if you want to, in your city, say you cannot carry a firearm, number one, watch your crime rate skyrocket. And number two, watch gun death and gun crime go way up exponentially as well. And that seems to be a consistent theme. In fact, in New Zealand, they had a handback availability to all of their people following a school shooting because they overreacted. And their gun crime went up exponentially following that.
Yeah.
Because do you know who doesn't hand in their guns?
People who are going to do crimes with them.
That's right. Yeah. The only other people that don't hand them in are people who refuse to be a victim of gun crime. So you have both of those people, and then you have the people in the middle who got a gun, don't really use it, don't practice with it, and they were so appalled at something that happened that they overreacted emotionally. And that's what they count on. They count on the emotional overreaction. But you had mass murders on a horrific scale conducted by people wielding knives, axes, all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, exactly. Two famous detective brothers said, "Criminals don't follow the law. That's why they're criminals." That's right. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent either. I'm just saying that that law, if you make a national law against outlawing something, it never works out. Have you guys noticed that? We had a war on drugs. How did that work out? Does that work out well? We've had, since I was a little boy, it's like, say no to drugs. No, how about we educate people about drugs? We make them harder to get, and we have some laws that actually, do what they're supposed to do. And then we enforce those laws, but we don't continually add more laws that do essentially the same thing. That's what happens with all these laws.
Right.
Because believe it or not, with too many laws. We've had too many laws for a long time because all of the senators and representatives that represent people in the federal government and even at a state level to some extent think that they have to do something when they're in Washington. And consider this: they used to go there for 2 weeks and then go back to their home jurisdictions and go back to work. So here's what you do. You have 3 weeks to decide what you're going to do for legislation, and you're done. Unless there's an emergency need, like there's a natural disaster or something like that happens, and then we fix it. But, back then, they also allowed these states to solve some of these natural disaster problems, right? Yeah. But because we take such a disproportionate amount of money from the states and turn it to the federal government in the form of taxes, the states can no longer react to the things that actually happen in their states or where they are. So the federal government is an incredibly overbloated thing as it's constituted right now, and it's not going to get any better if they're going to give $21,000 to every one of those employees because they didn't get to work. Versus everybody else, you get 2,000. These people are going to get 21,000, and they're going to have more sick leave and everything else. So. Yeah, and we lost Steven. What a shame, but he needed to go. So it's just one of these situations and circumstances. So we're just in a weird place. We're just in a weird place.
No, I'm just going to call it saying that this population difference between the rural and big cities is going to be an even bigger problem going forward. And until we figure out the balance of power between these two, and this is like largely what the founding fathers were trying to solve from the get-go because they knew it was going to happen, right?
Anyway, the other thing is, you have such hyperbole, coming out of both of the major political parties that, finding a middle ground is going to be next near to impossible. Unity doesn't come at the point of a gun or at the heel of a boot.
Yep.
So, and I think that unfortunately that's kind of the direction that people are going. Anyway, I feel like we hijacked the show from Atlantean. So
I don't know. He didn't suggest a topic on his own.
No, I didn't. I really didn't have much of. I had night. Culture said something. I think it was Friday on his stream, and then I kind of forgot what it was and where we were going with it.
Yeah.
And then he actually said something yesterday on the Sunday review, and I kind of forgot where that went too.
Yeah.
And I think I said something. Oh God, what was it? I said something. Fuck.
One thing I can tell you that might make you excited is I bought Resident Evil 2 and 3, but I haven't had time to play them.
On the PS4?
On Steam.
Oh, the PC?
I got a controller. I can play them.
You might like them. I'm still going to tell you to play the originals first.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get the best compare and contrast. I say, because the more I play, I enjoy the Resident Evil 2 remake. Have you ever played Resident Evil Culture?
Yes.
You have?
Hmm?
You played them all? Yeah.
Okay. More than 2, I think. Maybe 3, 4 of them. Hard to say a lot of them. I played enough of them to know that they're okay. I have other, jump scare games that I've enjoyed more.
What games?
Just yeah, you put me on the spot. We're
looking for things to talk about. I want to hear your preferences.
Well, oh wow, preferences would be the original versions of Assassin's Creed. Those aren't jump scare games, but I like those.
Yeah.
I like Civilization. I like strategy RTS games. I play everything. I play tabletop stuff. I play a lot. But I mean, when it comes to video games, I need a story-driven project. I don't necessarily need linear gameplay. In fact, that's sometimes very offensive. I prefer an open world, story-driven game.
Yep.
So despite all its faults, I will say, and I haven't done my review of Cyberpunk because it's going up on the Le Gaming Lounge channel.
Yep.
But now that I am almost finished with it on the PS5, which I actually have one, and I'm not bragging, although I am a little.
It's easy to get a PS5 when you rob it. No, I'm just kidding. Rob it from a scalper. You go to their house. And
didn't do any of that. But
here's the strategy. Here's the strategy. You buy one PlayStation 5. You go to eBay. You sort by distance nearest first, and you buy the first PlayStation 5, and you get his address when it arrives. Then you go to his house. Please don't steal.
Yeah, no, so I'm almost done with the PS5 version of the game. I finished the PC game, and I've created a couple different characters on there for some, just to feel out the different, archetypes. And for as flawed as the game was when it came out, and apparently I have a gnat in here. For as flawed as the game it was when it came out, I enjoyed it immensely on PC. I really did. I found no problems with it. I didn't have any of the glitches anybody talks about, other than a couple of the weird graphical oddities early on, where your buddy pulls the gun out of his head instead of the chip, the shard. Yep. So, but aside from those like peculiarities, which to be honest with you, almost every modern game has something broken on it when you get it. Just it's whether or not it bothers you or not. I thought it was done well. I thought the storylines were good. I got one of the best endings you could get without even, knowing what the endings were in the game. I went out of my way not to get any spoilers or any of the other stuff, and just built the character around my playstyle. And that's the other thing. I like games where you can build something around your playstyle. So RPGs, play to my strengths. So games like that and Skyrim and stuff like that, those are them. I recently downloaded the original versions of BioWare's Mass Effect, right?
Yep.
I own the collector's edition that they released for PS4 of the first 3 games. And I was incredibly disappointed in Andromeda. I thought that was hot trash. But I really, really enjoyed the original ones. I know they screwed up the ending of 3. I mean, and they had some weird character crap in it. But again, that's stuff I can forgive if it's just a decent story. Now, of course, I'm led to believe that none of the decisions I made in Mass Effect actually did
Sorry,
anything.
Happy Dinosaurs headed out.
Oh,
nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by, Happy.
Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate it, bud. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's just like I said, those are the kind of things I love. Dawn of Man. Yeah, actually, I have it. It was I started playing it when it was early release, or when it was being developed. I love that game. Really cool. It's not graphics intensive. I like the pace of play where you're controlling like this tribe of people and trying to build it. So you control, your population by building huts and all that. I really enjoyed that. It was an excellent game, excellent indie game. Like I said, I mean, I love those kinds of games. But
how about did you buy the remake of Command and Conquer?
I have all the originals. I don't really feel like a remake's going to change the gameplay any.
It does make it a lot easier to play through because it does allow you to use a higher resolution, and it does improve upon the actual engine and makes it run on a computer.
I played 8-bit games.
Yeah, me too. But having played the original and this one, I actually feel like the remake actually does something for me. Like, it was only $20 too, so.
I'll look at it. Going from 256 up to 4K, I guess would be impressive, but whatever.
They redo the graphics. You can actually hit a button like in Halo and look at the old graphics if you like it that way. But
oh man, no. See, my eyes are bad enough as it is. If I'm going to look at something improved, I'm going to do it improved mode all the time. But no, I mean, like you said, I enjoy. Like I said, that's the kind of crap I enjoy. But I play everything. I was really enjoying playing Among Us on a regular basis. I thought that was kind of fun.
The original one.
Among Us, with a group of people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I haven't tried the second one yet. I probably will get it eventually, despite the controversy, but I don't really have any intent on buying it anytime soon. But I liked Among Us 1. I played through it when I got a PS4. I bought the remake or the remaster or whatever they call it.
Among Us?
I don't know. Yeah, the original. Oh, sorry. I was confusing it with... You
mean The Last of Us?
Yeah, why did I think... Maybe I'm tired. I'm sorry.
I was saying, what the hell are you talking about? Among Us? I was like, I didn't know Among Us 2 was getting a sequel.
Yeah.
No.
The Last of Us 2 was a giant crap fest. I have nothing positive to say about Naughty Dog Studios right now. It was really weird. The first 3 Uncharted games were pretty good. I enjoyed those. Despite its many flaws, one of the Tomb Raider games was okay, but to be honest with you, Last of Us just wasn't my jam to begin with. I thought it was it was okay. I played through it once, and it ended up in the here you go nephew pile. But the that pile gets bigger a lot, very often. But the second game was I was completely done with it. Once essentially everything about the game had come out, and all of the bullshit that was in it, I was just done. Could you imagine in a world where we didn't have the global crisis that we're living through right now, where that game came out in a vacuum, it would still be getting chewed to death right now. They couldn't hold it up like they've been holding it up since this whole thing began. And that's, again, they're utilizing the power of keeping people uninformed and locked down and filtering and censoring and changing, what can be done on Twitter and Facebook and places like that. They're using all that to further drive wedges between people, which is what Steven and I were talking about earlier. Because his video today was just wonderful after his conversations with a non-binary person.
Yeah,
it was very, very good video. So
I don't know, but I don't know. I was thinking I might buy the game when it comes out at $20, but I'm not entirely sure.
No. Yeah, I understand, Runner. I understand, and a lot of people thought it was great. I thought it was okay. Like you said, it wasn't
as great as everyone says.
It was worth playing through it one time.
Last of Us, the original.
Yeah, it was worth playing through it one time. I did like the characters in that. Like I said, it did its job. It was a good game. Like you said, there's a couple versions of Far Cry that I'll play again, and some I'll never touch ever again. So there you go. You're gonna have good and bad in any franchise. I
just beat Far Cry 5, and I was highly disappointed by the ending. I don't think I'm gonna play that again. Just 'cause hey, you saved the day. Oh, nuke time.
Yeah.
Nothing you did matters.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, that was terrible. 6 is coming out though.
Yeah, I've got my free copy coming for having an AMD processor. So
Yeah. Hey,
I don't have to pay.
yeah, Atlantean. I think there's a Splatterhouse coming.
Is there a Splatterhouse coming?
No, it's yeah. Aren't you working on more Splatterhouse there, Atlantean?
Oh,
That's the plan.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire on this, my man. You've got a limited period of time to come up
Yeah.
with.
and
Yeah,
when are you going to spend the money on a new computer? I'm going to hold you to that one.
Dude,
What is it you gave me for parts? I forgot.
Processor, RAM, SSD.
Dang.
Let's see what else I give you. I gave you some fans, but now you really only need a motherboard and a processor and maybe a heatsink. Oh, actually, no, the processor came with a heatsink, so you don't need that.
I say, didn't you give me the processor already?
Yeah, it has a heatsink in the box, so you don't need.
Yeah, that's right.
What processor is it?
It's just a Ryzen 3200G, so he can use it. I bought it originally because graphics cards were in shortage, so I bought the one with the built-in graphics chip, and I couldn't get a Ryzen 5000 series at the time either, so I bought the 3200G because it's the built-in graphics, right?
You can get a Ryzen 56 plus a motherboard right now for like $279, I think, bundled.
Yeah.
That'd be great if I had.
All he
money
really
to do
needs is a power supply, a case, and a motherboard, and he could use the processor he has and get away with not needing a graphics card right away.
Dude, go into a Goodwill, Deseret, Savers, whatever, and you can grab a box. Any case will do as long as it's a macro ATX, and you can put any size board in it. And if you can check out the power supply if you need that. That's like one of the cheapest things you can get on a computer nowadays.
Yeah.
What would be what was the chipset that we need for this processor?
570. You can't use the 550 with the
that's right. You saw an AMD
570 or 570S?
X570 chipset.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of the higher end motherboards. AMD decided not to support the 3200G in the 550.
Yeah, the X570.
Yeah. You can get those right at Best Buy, and Best Buy even carries a few cases these days.
Okay. So because I forgot what we were gonna need.
You pull it out of Newegg too.
Yeah, I'm looking at Newegg right now. We'll say we built a list for this when this PC shit the bed when we didn't figure out what it was. It's like, you know what, we're gonna need to invest in this. It's like,
his PC broke. We didn't know what we're gonna do. It turned out we got a motherboard for $40, brand new in service box with all the little bits you needed.
This thing was so goddamn old. The thermal paste was dry and decrepit, even though it was sealed up.
Yeah,
that's how old this thing was.
But yeah, the 3200G should beat the pants off that thing. Like, even if it's that's not a seriously awesome processor by any means, it's still a quad core, and the built-in graphics is better than the ones you got. So, Mike, what?
No, nothing. I apparently I didn't clear my last build out of the part picker. So
yeah.
No, I like I said, I mean, it's getting less and less expensive to build one, but everything that I want and I want to add to a machine is the thing, because I'm always trying to top end myself. But
yeah. What's nice is, well, the graphics card shortage is probably not going away anytime soon. Is the sad part.
No, that's a supply chain issue, and again, that's a direct effect of having our supply chain based out of the country. It didn't used to be.
So I've got a spare 1650. I also told Mike he can get it if he builds a computer before you do.
You got a what now?
A spare 1650 graphics card.
Oh yeah, you were telling me.
I only hold on to it for you or Mike or some other friend who's just like, I need a graphics card because I can't get one.
Yeah.
Like the shortage is.
Oh yeah,
that's funny.
The GTX, that's right.
Yeah. But it's funny. Did you? They have the 3nm chips coming out like next year, maybe. Supposedly, Apple, AMD, and NVIDIA have the 3nm chips from TSMC booked until 2024. So,
damn.
like we're already like that. The shortages are just going to keep going, right? Like everybody's full up. Everything's planned out. So what that also means is if like TSMC has to close, something bad happens to Taiwan, like a typhoon or something, it's going to set that all back, and the shortages are just going to get worse. So
it'll bounce back at some point. It's got to.
Yeah,
it's got to.
Well, you're gonna get another chip. You're gonna get another chip manufacturer that's going to be able to get close enough, and then.
The counter has been that everybody's trying to get semiconductor fabrication plants up in their own continents, right? The U.S., China, and Europe are all trying to get semiconductor
we had 100 of them in this country.
Yep, and we just let them go.
No, that we let and again, that's a function of stupidity in this country where we decided to pursue a global economy, and the problem is that takes the control of your supply chain out of your hands, which is one of the most foolish things you could possibly do. And you know what? If you want to defeat globalists, you bring all your supply chain back into your country. It solves the problem.
Yeah. I know Trump tried to get had an agreement with TSMC to open a fab in New Mexico, and that should be up and running by 2023. Biden just signed something about additional fabs elsewhere by other companies, but I mean, Biden, quote unquote, could be anybody at this point, but anybody in the cabinet that is. Actually, speaking of Biden, did you hear that Biden hasn't done a State of the Union yet?
He hasn't done a press conference in 40 days.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Somebody brought that up as that's the longest a president has gone without in the first year of their campaign, or this part of their presidential career. That's the longest they've gone without giving a State of the Union address.
I don't think he could give a State of the Union address.
Well, that's the theory.
It's the dude's off his fucking rocket. He can't make a State of the Union. He can't do anything with his administration. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, but he can bomb Syria within a fucking month.
Yep.
And of course, everybody on Twitter's freaking out like, he's not giving us checks. He's not raising the minimum wage, but he's bombing Syria. And us people over here just sipping our tea like, we told you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's like, we told you this would happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm concerned about the whole giving people money thing because I'm trying to save up to buy a house, and every time they give people money, the price for houses goes up.
Everything goes up.
It's kind of like, Biden sheets messed up. Ooh, gross.
But anyway, back to what Culture said. Yeah, Culture was asking. Yes, Splatterhouse 2 video I'm going to be working on soon.
Good.
I went and looked over the script I wrote back in fucking October because that's so old at this point. And it's like, I ended up rewriting parts of it. Making parts of it longer, making parts of it shorter. Mostly filling in parts that needed to be filled in. But yeah, now it's just a matter of reporting.
I don't expect him to make a State of the Union address. The law was put in place that annually the president would have to address Congress in a manner that made them informed and aware of the state of the nation. Technically, he could, send them a letter.
Yeah.
It never actually was a requirement for the president to deliver the address the way it's been done for the last, 50, 60 years. I think it came into practice in the 30s, I think, sometime in the 30s or 40s.
FDR? Yeah.
I have no idea who brought it in. I was going to say Wilson. I could be wrong. But it's just it's just one of those things. And again, I mean, it became a rallying thing at a point in time that, rallying around the president's agenda. But nobody knows what this guy's agenda is right now. It seems to be handing everything back to China.
Yeah.
So, but
they can participate in our energy grid again. Yeah.
Which is not smart. Again, this is the problem with these globalist asshats. I mean, you're handing over control of your country and all of its various forms and abilities to other entities. And I don't want to get started down the rabbit hole that is, the globalist conversation, because we'd be here for 4 or 5 hours. That discussion usually takes place over on Comics Division's channel, which I'm going to be headed towards this evening here pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
But this was awesome. I love doing these. The stream of consciousness.
I appreciate you coming.
Blast.
Yeah, hold on. Will you all stop trying to talk over each other for a second? What is he saying, Culture?
Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying I love these stream of consciousness streams. I want to do them as often as I can. So
I'm really I was bouncing the idea at work. I'm like, you know what? Eventually, these guys are just going to be fucking regulars on the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
No, I was just going to say this kind of like not scripted format, kind of, whatever the news is or whatever we end up talking about ends up being the conversation of the day. That's kind of a cool idea, because I structure the shit out of most of my stuff. So,
well, I can structure things, but at the same time, I'm a very I'm a very freeform person. Like if I think of something, like you've had me on streams, I've gone on like 20 different directions in one fucking rant.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the feeling on your streams, people look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
Wes will do that sometimes. I mean, everybody's prone to it. It's easy to get pulled in a tangent, especially if you have an idea that adds to the greater point. So,
so how much longer do you have, Culture? About 15, 20 minutes?
I'm supposed to be putting supper together here soon. So, I'm already behind on my chore, but it's okay. It's okay.
Because I do want to go for about another 15 minutes or so, but I don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah.
So how about this? How about I'll bring up a random topic. I was cleaning out my car recently and I found something I bought that I really want. Like,
oh God, I was gonna suggest we talk about DCEU, but you know what? Let's go with this.
Yeah, whatever. I'm hoping either.
Well, what is that?
Got cool spot for Sega Genesis.
The old 7-Up logo guy. Show that again. Show that. Hold on.
Let me turn off the smart camera.
That thing is fucking making you disappear. You watch. He has a body in the closet. That's why he has a green screen on.
The cool spot for Sega Genesis.
Love it.
If you like getting your ass handed to you by a video game, this is the one to do it.
Weren't there like all early video games like that?
That was like a 7-Up thing.
It was the 7-Up thing.
Well, yeah, but the funny thing is that this is made by the guy who made Earthworm Jim. After he made this game, he left and made his own studio. So this is made by David Perry, and it has music by Tommy Tallarico, who's also famous for video game music. So this is a pretty hot game. Like people underestimate it.
Oh yeah, people loved it.
Yeah.
Okay,
especially.
What? How many games were there? Like 2 or 3 cool spot games?
Yeah, but this one was the best one. Honestly,
say what is it? Cool.
I had a few. My aunt was like an actor, and when I was like 4 or 5 or 6, and she worked for 7-Up at one point and got a whole bunch of 7-Up swag and sent it to me. And one of the things she sent me was a cool spot game for NES, and it's really just what's that game where you move the tokens around the board and you flip the colors and stuff like that until the board fills up? It's an Othello-like game. It's fun to play with friends, but it has absolutely F all to do with Spot or cool 7-Up. It's like the only thing that has anything to do with that 7-Up is that they put in these like neat little animations for all the moves you could possibly make. Right? They'll do like one he'll do like a little break dance as he moves and then jump into the little hole, or another one he'll like take his cane and do the little shuffle over. Maybe that's something we should play on stream at some point. I don't have the cartridge anymore, but
stream.
I can.
What was that game called?
This one?
No, the one you were talking about.
It's just called Spot for NES. I doubt it's worth very much, so you probably get a copy for like nothing.
Oh. Spot the video game. There we go. What is it?
It's like a green cartridge. Yeah, $9.95 with the box.
I was say, what is this? Is that like used with the box, or is that like a reproduction with the box?
No, it's original with the box. The box even has like sun damage.
It is based on a smaller scale concept of the Chinese board game Go. It takes place on a 7, so it's not Othello. It's like Go.
Yeah.
Well, Othello and Go are very similar games.
Yeah.
But it's like I had that as a kid, and it's fun to play with friends, but it has nothing to do with 7-Up other than the spot animation.
Yeah. Other than the guy.
Yeah, where in this game, like the 7-Up thing is like the special stages are on a bottle of 7-Up. The health pickups are cold glasses of 7-Up. Think about it. You're the spot. You're on the beach. You got your ass beat up by a crab or a mouse or something that's throwing shit at you. And all of a sudden you kill the mouse and a nice cold glass of 7-Up appears and you're like, and when you pick it up, it goes.
That's
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love the old license game. Like the old license games like that are fun.
Yeah.
They're fun.
If I remember right, that wasn't the only one of those branded games either. There were several of them. Yeah. Not just for Spot, but I mean, there were a lot of them that promoted a lot of stuff. There was like a Burger King game, if I remember right.
Sneak King for Xbox. Yeah.
Oh God.
It was like a $10 game. So what did you? I mean, like it's not the most amazing game, but it's a fun concept apparently.
Yeah, there was a lot of those. There were a lot of those. The game that I'm interested in getting, in the old school catalog, is it's really hokey. I want to play a upgraded version of Paperboy. I have an emulator, right? But the emulator is still just playing the MAME version of the game. I really would love to play I would really love to see something like a 4K version of Paperboy. I would fucking love that. But
they actually released I think they released a version of Paperboy on the N64.
We played
not that great, but
I played Street Fighter Alpha not too long ago. Somebody had made the emulator with the higher end graphics. It wasn't 4K, but it was good enough. That thing was badass. So
I don't think you were on stream last time I brought this out, but this is a Neo Geo board. I some free time. I'm going to get going. I'm trying to make it so I can play it on TV, and I have all the converters I need to get this working. I just haven't had time to put it all together.
Hey, I am knee deep in getting everything I need to rebuild an original Xbox to 4K. To 4K.
Yeah.
4K an original Xbox.
Yep.
You can only really upscale, but it's still
with an SSD. Yeah, but the upscale tech looks amazing.
Yep.
So yeah.
That would be interesting to do.
Dude,
I mod my Xbox. So,
dude, can you imagine playing original Halo?
Yeah.
No, can you imagine playing Ninja Gaiden in 4K? Fuck Halo. Halo's been re-released to hell and back on the modern PC. So
yeah, no, but I mean on your original console, not on the PC. The way it was supposed to be played.
If it wasn't released so many fucking times, I would be on board by saying yes, it's awesome. But Halo is one of those games. I mean, granted, it deserved, it's earned it, but that's one of those many games that's been released so many times, it's fucking pointless. There's a lot of them like that, by the way. Resident Evil 4, Skyrim, fucking Halo, constant remasters and shit. That's one thing. This is one of the reasons I don't really talk on the LGL, because they're always talking about like remakes and shit. It's like the idea of remakes and remasters needs to take a long walk off a short pier.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just the same with open world Jiminy Cockthroat bullshit. Just it needs to walk off a short pier with a ball and chain on its ankle and drop to the fucking bottom of the ocean.
I'm going to have to disagree on the remasters, because some remasters make sense, right? Like when I talked about Command & Conquer earlier, the original Command & Conquer renders at 640 by 480. And it's really a huge pain in the ass to play on your modern computer. But the new version, you boot it up and it's Command & Conquer and Red Alert that you can play on your modern computer with modern resolutions. right? And they didn't do too much to the game. They just made it compatible. That's a good remaster. And they charged $20 for it. But what like one that's shitty is what they're doing the remaster for Skyward Sword, right?
And they're
Skyward
charging
Sword
for it.
Yeah, $60. If they're just probably they're probably just emulating the Wii and doing an upscale. I'd be willing to bet that's exactly what they're doing. And so it's not really a remaster in any way, shape, or form. It's just like same game through an emulator.
All right. So culture needs to go on the way out. So I figured we'll bring an end to the stream right about now.
Oh no, I'm a jerk.
No, it's getting on like 9 o'clock anyway. So it's fine. So anything you want to push, culture? Anything you want to say?
Well, I released an amazing video today. It was a letter from the boss. It was really good. It was very well received. I got a lot of comments on it. So yeah, so the boss is going to occasionally write a letter, and I'm going to do a video about it. She has some really good insights. If you get a chance to check that out, if you haven't already, it's kind of cool. Like I said, I'm headed over to comics at some point this evening here real soon, and then I have. I have the regular Tuesday stuff. So tomorrow is the Tuesday tirade with Tom, the Tuesday tirade entertainment talk. And then shortly after that, I'm on with Mad Mardigan, and we do the Street Smarts videos, which are a lot of fun. So that audience is building too. So I love hanging out with everybody. I mean, I've got a great group of people I get to hang out with, including you, my friend. And, Twicked, it's good hanging out with you too. So, cool. But you guys have an incredible night. I do have to dip out, but it was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for having me. And I'll do this a lot, man. You know that. Anyway, you guys have a great night. I will see you very soon.
Later. All right. So
let's take another 5 minutes to discuss the Atlantean Discord channel and how I'm the worst community manager of all time.
So, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck with a Discord thing, dude.
Yeah, but that's why I should do it. But
no,
I
don't want to build a fucking Discord right now. It's like I have a Discord that I created, for the sake of building it. But it's like I don't really want to do it right now. I don't want that added responsibility on top of everything else I'm trying to do because I'm going fucking crazy as it is,
Yeah.
It's like I'm going on a certain level. I'm going fucking insane trying to keep up with everybody else, talking about shit, trying to keep up with the gaming lounge streams and everything. It's like I can't even keep up there. Jeez. But I say I can't keep up. I'm not putting in much effort to it.
Yeah.
Just mostly because of work. But it's just like I really don't want to try and add on.
I think you need to do more stuff for fun then in this case.
I do this. This is fun. We do this every Monday.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I also do the gaming streams on Tuesdays.
Yep.
I'm starting to think that maybe our other streams are just gonna not happen, and this is just gonna replace our old stream because it's like, it's like we've had you on and we've had other panels on. It's like,
I still want to do special event streams when I come home.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do special events. That's something we can plan on, but I don't know. I didn't even intend on this being. I didn't intend on this, on this becoming a panel.
I was originally planning on coming up this coming weekend, actually, but I had to cancel my trip because my classes are starting to overwhelm me a little bit. So,
your classes?
Classes.
Oh, classes.
Yeah. So, I have a test coming up that week. So, instead of coming home, I'm going to use that time to study for my test. So,
fair enough.
I need to do that. But
I need to.
Yeah, man.
So I need to get around. So we can go for a little longer. Don't matter,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine. I just thought we'd talk about us channel stuff instead.
It's a shame that Steven couldn't stay. He's not feeling well. So I if he's still watching, man, I hope you feel better, dude. And having culture on is
I like it. It was fun last week. It's fun this week, man.
It was a lot of fun. We had a good panel last week. We had the us four. And we also had Fat Steven Seagal. I wanted to get Fat Steven Seagal on, but I completely forgot to ask him ahead of time.
Yep.
And it's like, oh fuck, I didn't get a chance to ask him. It's like, you know what? I dropped him a message tonight. I'm thinking to myself, I was like, he's probably going to be busy. You know, he's probably already booked ahead. And it's like, yeah, sure enough, he's doing a stream. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we got 4 people on.
Yeah.
That's fine. I really didn't have much of a topic today. I've been building up rants and thinking of so many things at work and everything. I just forgot all of them that I was talking about.
Yeah.
In my head.
No, I've been busy. I really wanted to spend some time fixing up that audio clip, but I haven't even sat down to move it over to the NAS. So, and it's just because, you know, homework's starting to overwhelm me a bit. You know, I've got a girlfriend now. I spend time with her. You know, and I did want to come home this weekend. I had big plans, but then I realized I probably wouldn't pass my test if I went.
Yeah, the test is important.
Yeah, everybody can wait another 2 weeks. It's okay. So yeah, in 2 weeks I'll be up, but yeah, like this weekend, no. But yeah, I do want to come up home. I'll definitely visit you, figure out what we're gonna play. But man, like I don't. As far as gaming's concerned, there's really nothing I'm really psyched up about to get anytime soon. Like I don't know. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct or catch anything from it?
No.
I mean, there was the moment where Eiji Onuma just like takes everybody and he's like, "I'm sorry, we're not going to announce the new Zelda game," and it's just like he takes your hopes and just like. It's like, yeah, they're totally waiting to launch the new console when they launch the new Zelda.
What's
they're doing it?
They're releasing the
They haven't announced anything. They haven't announced anything about it, but you know, back to my previous predictions, that's going to be based on NVIDIA hardware. They're probably going to put an NVIDIA chip. So there's this new feature of the graphics card that NVIDIA likes to push called DLSS. Now, DLSS, what it does, let's say you render a 1080p image, right? It's really easy for my graphics card here, the 3090, to render pretty much anything at 1080 in a really high frame rate. But once you jump it up to 4K, its performance jumps down a lot, right? So what DLSS does is it takes the 1080p images and uses AI, like the AI was doing over here. This thing here that puts the penguins behind me is the same AI parts of the processor that they're going to be using to upscale from a 1080p image to a 4K image. Now, rumor has it, and this is probably, and I didn't even think about this before, but rumor has it the new Nintendo hardware is going to have this technology. And it makes a lot of fucking sense when you think about it, because how I said that its power is going to be nowhere near the others. But using DLSS, they can kind of fudge the numbers and make it look, like so.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like it's going to be awful looking to use DLSS. DLSS actually looks really good compared to traditional upscaling techniques. So it uses AI to kind of guess what color each pixel should be. So they're going to be using DLSS to upscale a 1080p image to 4K for this new Switch hardware. And, this is definitely a thing. Like, I mean, if they're going to go with NVIDIA, that's probably why, because that means Nintendo can put in cheaper hardware and then not have to worry about, they're not going to have to worry about the hardware looking quite as bad because the frame rates are going to be better. And I mean, that could take you quite a ways. So yeah, it's probably going to be NVIDIA hardware. It's probably going to be the hardware we looked at, that little board.
Yeah.
That same setup, not the board itself, but they're just going to copy and paste that into their design, and that's going to be the Switch Pro. Whenever that comes out, this new Zelda game is going to be on it. I guarantee it. Like, the game was announced 2 years ago at this point, and they didn't even show any footage this year, which means they don't want to blow their load on it because they're holding it to next year.
Yeah, they don't want to release it on the Switch.
Yeah. They'll probably put out a Switch version, but it's not going to be the primary version. It's going to be like the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild, right?
Right.
So I think the bigger question at this point is whether there's going to be enough of these new Switches for everyone. And the answer is probably fuck no. Given all the hardware shortages we have at this point, that might be another reason why Nintendo isn't even releasing it yet. For all we know, they're producing it, but usually once production starts, it's hard to keep that under wraps. So maybe not, but it's with all the semiconductor shortages, Nintendo is probably not going to be able to keep that a secret or even get enough out to not have tremendous shortages. So yeah, definitely you'll be able to get the new Zelda on Switch, and that's probably the only way you'll be able to fucking play it in any reasonable amount of time. So I mean, that's the Nintendo news, in my opinion. Like, Nintendo's Direct didn't announce anything interesting that I find interesting. I mean, Skyward Sword would have been interesting at less than $60, but
yeah, it's not worth $60.
Yeah, I never played the original.
Neither did I.
So I sold my Wii long before that came out. I was like, I wouldn't want to play a Zelda game on this. But man, we're entering hard times as far as this hardware stuff goes. Like, so you basically just have to assume that if it's going to come out as a computing device, it's going to be short. You're not going to be able to get one unless unless Nintendo thinks of ways of selling them in store, right? Like, that's the other problems, that we're selling these things online where bots can just automatically snatch them all up. And where are we at with this? No, we're good.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh man. All right, I think we're gonna call it here.
Call it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9:00. So. We spent our last 7 minutes.
So those of you that stuck around, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate Culture Casino and author Stephen Walton. They're no longer here on the stream, but hopefully they'll come back for next week. And maybe we'll get Fast Steven Seagal again on, if I remember to ask him before the day of.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah. Until then, y'all have a glorious fucking night.
Have a nice night.